Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and tripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Finger ball 'em. Never stop it. To the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our...
To another episode of Bengals and Booties. I am Dale Altman, joined by Porkchop and
Hey.
BSG. Let's see that booty, Greg.
Yeah. Shake it. Don't break it. Took him an hour to make it.
Chop, you see what I did there? I knew he wanted to show that De La Cruz jersey
Right,
so
yeah.
bad that I said, welcome to Bengals and Booties. Just
What gave that away, Dale? How the hell do you know all this stuff?
because you were bending over like that before the show started.
When you saw me in the back, I was taking a selfie in the background.
Yeah, right.
So you can see me what I do in the background. Now word comes out now.
So, I mean, it just made sense to go ahead and let you show it off. And,
Right.
This episode is brought to you by Greg's Booty.
Yeah.
Also,
Cruise and Brews.
and Dale, since you kind of noticed this, just so everybody knows, I fell asleep last night, woke up at 9 o'clock, and I couldn't get to bed till 3 in the morning. So Dale's like, Greg, you liking Yossi Bush stuff at 12 at midnight or 1 in the morning?
I'm like, you get up for work at like 4 in the morning, Greg. I'm
I
like,
couldn't go to bed. I had to set 2 alarms, man, to get the heck out of bed this morning.
"It's
Why
'cause
didn't you
stayed
send
up
me a
all night."
message?
Send you a message. Oh, no, I was
up all
there.
night.
Yeah, because Dale, I'm sure you're like, what the hell's Greg doing at 1 or 2 in the morning posting stuff?
Oh, I know what you were doing when I seen the
Right.
Yossi Wash.
Oh yeah.
That
We
just
know.
gave
Well,
it
look,
away.
we know that the phone was only in one hand. The other one was busy.
And I do want to say there may be some shows that I'm going to be missing coming up. Going through some personal stuff here at home. I don't want to get emotional about it, so
It's all good.
we'll leave it at that. But there will still be shows, so these guys will hold it down, and everybody else.
We're glad you're here today, though.
Glad you're here, bro.
For sure.
Always glad to see you, Dale.
Woo. All right. So, anyways, going to be talking some Pro Bowl. I know I thought Cam was maybe showing up. Joe said he's not feeling well, so I thought we were going to have at least 4. Matt Lawless kind of talked about wanting to be on this. I see he's in the chat, so I'll send him out a link. So we'll have 4. Cam may still join. Sometimes he's just running late, but that way Matt can get his Pro Bowl predictions and things like that. Greg's got a couple tier lists, so there's multiple ways of just doing this. I set something for the show. I didn't really know.
Right.
I didn't know if I'd be on or not, and what you guys necessarily. There's not a lot going on. One thing I know we kind of talked about the Corey Dillon thing. Greg, you weren't on that Friday night show when they talked about it. I think you were watching, but you weren't on the episode when we had Cap and.
Right, I watched, but so I missed the obviously.
He was on Jim's show last night. Did you guys catch any of that?
Oh, yeah, I saw some of it.
I did, and you know what? It was like I said. I think some came out a little bit misunderstood. Corey Dillon made it very clear. I am not, attacking the city of Cincinnati or anything. And you know what? You got to. I'm not putting yourself in his shoes. He's frustrated. The bottom line is the Ring of Honor should have happened 20 years ago, at the very least. We're just way far behind. I've said this so many times. They need to have almost 6 guys in at a time. We're so far behind almost. I mean, it should be at least 4 because we're just so far behind. It's nothing against Corey Dillon. There's just so many other guys in front of him that need to get in right now. That's it.
And Chop made his feelings very clear. So if anybody wants those, they can go back and get them from the episode we did Friday night, which is fair. I'm somewhere in the middle of kind of where Chop and then, where everybody's just like, oh, let him in. Like, I want to see somebody. I think Joe kind of said it on Friday's show too. Somebody that showed like a little bit of remorse for maybe how things ended. Even if we're just talking on the Bengal personal side, not his personal life things that that were reported because those are always tough to prove, but it tend to if there's multiple incidents of something that's not good. But regardless of that, his play on the field is what will get him in the Ring of Honor most likely. Yes. And I just thought like the guys who are in, to me, when that article made it sound like he was shitting on those guys. And when he was on that show, it sounded like he kind of clarified all that. Plus he sounded pretty sincere, like, hey, he's got a lot of love for the fans, this, that, and the other. He said he'd love his issues more with the front office and probably just how things went. And I know a lot of players had issues. I think things are getting better. Yeah. We all see that as fans even. Yeah. We don't know what it was like for some of these players. No. And maybe lack of communication on things and things like that. I mean, we still hear about that a little with the Jonah thing. Yeah. That there's a lack of communication there between the front office and the player on letting him know, hey, we're signing this guy. Hey, we're wanting you to move over. He's hearing stuff through the media. So maybe that's some of his gripes. But he just said, he's open to having a conversation with the front office sooner rather than later, having it, airing out, his grievances or whatever in the back and moving on. So, I think a lot of times that's the best thing you can do in life in general with a lot of situations. So, I once watched, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I caught some of the clips and this and that of it. So I thought that was a really good interview that Jim and those guys did with him. And I thought he, to me, it made him look better. I compared it on a tweet. I said, it's kind of like when you're texting in a group or whatever, or sometimes things come off like your tone one way or you're joking, but it comes off and it looks like not joking. And you say something that seems just awful to that person that reads it. So sometimes it's better, when you can communicate face to face or over the phone or whatever. Right. Well, yeah. It was good that he did that, I thought. What did you guys think as far as that? And Chop, your opinion might not change at all.
Well, the thing of it is, he probably sometimes when you interview someone, you're in a very long conversation. And sometimes when you're in these long conversations, something can get blurted out, but you might not hear the whole story, how it happened or anything. And, like I say, I know it sounds like I'm being forgiving to Corey Dillon. I see where some fans are upset with him. I do get that. But the thing of it is, Corey Dillon, I remember when I watched your show Friday, Dale, Matt said it the best. Corey Dillon is always that type of person that plays with a chip on his shoulder. He's that type of person that's going to be like, this is how I'm going to be. This is who I am. He's going to say what he wants to say. And I get that. Some people are just different how they act upon things. I get his side where he's upset. But at the same time, like I said, also, the Ring of Honor should have happened over 20 years ago. We're just so far behind. That's just how it is. But like I said, Corey Dillon, he immediately brought up, said, I just want to clarify things. I do not hate the city of Cincinnati. I love the fans. I love everyone. I just want to make that clear. And you know what? I liked how he handled it. I do like how he handled himself yesterday.
Well, and it's also an honor, right? Yes. Ring of Honor. To me, it's an honor that you're getting put up there with these other guys and guys who maybe did everything right on and off the field. So I don't know. I think the interview helped, but still, it's like, well, you could play angry and you could be angry at times, but you don't have to be that person anymore, especially when you're wanting this honor.
No, exactly.
Because it's not a given. It's an honor.
I think we can agree he's going to get it before Scott Mitchell when he said,
those guys. That's the thing. He's on the ballot. He's been on the ballot, the original ballot with the rest of these legends. Right. To me, all these guys that are on this ballot, that's an honor. Right. That's a show of respect that they're on that ballot.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people that argue James Brooks. I like James Brooks, but I'm always going to argue Corey Dillon. I thought James Brooks was a different running back, but see, people pick James Brooks because of Corey Dillon's attitude. To me, sometimes that's not fair. I go by the player at times. Did I respect the comments he made, about flipping burgers and playing for the Bengals? Absolutely not. I did not respect that, but I'm willing to let it go, But anyway, I'll let you talk.
Yeah, I was waiting for y'all to shut up. I'm just waiting here quietly to answer Darth's question, and the answer in one word is nope. That's I figure, fine. You know what, man? He went on there and he talked about how he doesn't have a problem with the fans and he doesn't have a problem with the Bengals organization. He loves the city of Cincinnati, this, that, and the other, and suck our fucking ass. But here's the deal, man. You went on there and you literally trashed other players that were in the Ring of Honor conversation. You said, why them? Why not me? I'm better. And then you get on there on Bengal Jim's show. I watched the show recorded, and I wish that I was watching it live because I wanted to see all the comments they weren't putting on the screen. I mean, does everybody in Cincinnati just love this guy? Like, he had good production on the field. I can't deny that, man. He was great. You know, he holds a lot of Bengals records, but the man left and put his middle finger up to us. And I understand. I agree. It'd be nice if you could italicize words in your text so that people think that you're being a smartass. But how do you be a smartass and say, basically, like, why the fuck Chad Johnson? He didn't do shit. I did.
No.
You know, why not me? Why him? People love Chad Johnson. That's why
Should
Corey
never
Dillon.
brought up Chad Johnson.
No, that is a bad. No, absolutely not. Do not do that.
You took Cincinnati's second son. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
you trashed him. And then after you get caught with your fucking hand in a cookie jar, it's easy to go, well, I didn't mean it like that. You know, I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. If he gets in the Ring of Honor one day, I'm not going to be mad. If
Right.
Corey Dillon is ruler of the jungle this year at some point, I'm not going to be mad. If Corey Dillon comes on the show and he's like, hey, Pork Chop, I heard that, you know, you got a problem. And I'll be like, yeah, Corey, but, you know, I ain't mad. A little bit. But I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm friends with everybody. That's what I do. I love everybody. So my thing is that, like, if you want to get in the Ring of Honor, you went the wrong way. And to me, I would have felt a lot more respect if he was like, man, I got heated in the moment, said things that were on my mind. I apologize. Instead of just going like, that's not how it was meant. I was like, you know, hey, fuck Chad Johnson. Oh, that's not how I meant it. I didn't mean like fuck Chad Johnson. I meant like, you know, fuck Chad Johnson. And so that's a lot better. Basically, that's what he was saying. By the way, man, Chad, I know you're watching. I'm sticking up for you, and you still got me blocked on fucking Twitter, man.
Well, I will say one thing I also noticed, though, in that interview is behind him was only him in Patriots uniform.
Yeah, I saw that too. I'm like, dude, now it's not that's what you put in the background.
I was like, you couldn't have found one photo of you in a Bengals uniform and just put a piece of tape.
Yeah, come on.
And taped that behind you and then took it off when you were done. Just
right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I will say that deal. I'm like, oh, seriously?
I noticed that and I was like, interesting. It's interesting that you knew you were doing this interview for it's been advertised for weeks.
White shirt, white hat. You can't just get on a piece of Bengal gear or something.
Which
he probably doesn't have it. It probably didn't come in the mail in time.
They asked if he was rooting for the Bengals, and he was like, yeah, you know, I like to see Joe and them boys do good and this and that.
Sure.
He said, but I think he was like, I'm not a hater. So he kind of basically, he didn't really say he's rooting for Cincinnati also. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff he said, like, it's,
The
you just gotta
man
watch
is-
it and judge for yourself, right?
The man is getting older, all right, and he wants some accolades. He's out of the news. He's not in the Hall of Fame. He's not gonna. He only play. You know, he's not gonna like win any kind of Ring of Honor with the Patriots. He only played there for a short time. His best chance is Cincinnati. So if he wants his name wrote down somewhere where people are gonna go in there and look at it all the time, this is his best chance. So he's trying to get into Ring of Honor, and I don't blame him, man. But
I will say he looked good. He looked like he's in very good shape.
He looks. Oh, how old is Corey Dillon now?
I don't know, but he looks good. That's what I mean.
How old is Corey Dillon?
And I kind of wish, you know, he would understand that. He looks good. He looks in great health, good shape. You know, some of us fans have made a push to try to get some of these older guys in that maybe aren't in so great health because they're, you know, 30 years older than him.
He's 48. He's 48.
Yeah, we got guys that are in their 70s.
We got guys in their 80s. Bob Trump, he's almost 80 years old. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like I say, I want Chad in, but at the same time, like a lot of people say, you got to let the older guys in first. You want them to experience this. But that's why I say we need to get like at least 4 guys in at a time. This 2 thing, that's way too short right now.
I know. You don't want to water it down. Go ahead.
Corey Dillon just texted me. He said, Greg, I'm better than Bob Trump. You shut the fuck up over there.
Probably so. But you know what? Corey Dillon, look, I'll still like what he did on the field.
Yeah.
He still deserves to be in.
No, you cannot take away the moments and people that, you know, were watching or were there or, you know, on those special things when he is all basically that there was to cheer for some of those seasons. So, yeah, that's special. And I don't blame anybody that holds those things special and says that's why I want him in. And everyone has their own opinion. That's what I mean. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I thought it helped him a little bit yesterday, but, you know, I also understand, like, Chop's point of view. And Joe, like, you know, is the same way. And I mean, it's just people have different opinions, and that's okay.
That's okay.
A lot of Joe stuff, he's going on his personal life.
Okay, but Dale, who would you rather have in first? If this Carson Palmer or Corey Dillon? Who goes in?
That brings up this comment.
Yeah,
And
well,
I agree with Stranger here.
Yep.
Like Dylan can go in eventually, but fuck Carson.
Yeah.
is this not okay? And that's another thing to me. Is there people out here that are still saying F Carson, but they're promoting Corey Dillon in? Because to me, I mean, I understand he was here longer. Maybe he did more as a player, but his beef was with the franchise and he quit. It's very similar ending to what Palmer's was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I just wonder, is there people out there that support one and not the other? I mean, it's your opinion. You have that right. But I just think it would be a little hypocritical to support the case for Corey Dillon going in the Ring of Honor and saying Palmer should never be in.
Right.
Because to me, if one's not going to be in, the other shouldn't.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I don't know if Palmer's stats get him in.
Yeah.
If you're basing it only on the way they quit.
Right.
Because I think Dillon's stats get him in, clearly.
Well, Palmer, and he was on an interview, and he refers to the Cardinals as we and all that. He was only on the Cardinals for a couple of years. He's like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. I'm like, give me a break. Are you kidding me? We, the Card. Come on, man.
I'm just saying, if we're judging purely, because that's the thing. How are we judging the ring? And how are we putting these guys in? Because, I mean, if it is just based on field, not off-field incidents, not off-field comments, not any of that. I mean, Palmer made things exciting. We talk about Chad, but if we didn't have Palmer, there wouldn't have been as many fans either.
That is true.
Throwing him them damn rockets down the field. And, I mean, I still think we would have won the Super Bowl if it wasn't for Kimo von Oelhoff. And that 2005 season will always be special for me. Right. This T-shirt hanging up back here is from the 2005 season with all the players' names, and I leave it up on my wall because that season was so fun and special. I went to 3 or 4 games. That's the most game I ever went to in one season. I love that team. You know what I mean? Even though Palmer, yes, I hated that he quit and stuff, there's still a little part of me that's like, hey, I love what that happened in that 2005 season. He was so good. This team was built for success, set up so well for success, and it ended so shitty. But he was so frustrated. We don't know what was going on behind the scenes also. Now, I think we all agree we wish he'd shut the fuck up and move on.
Right.
Hey, and I think
we don't know what was going on behind the scenes. He's probably saying, I need this, I need that. We can win a Super Bowl if you get me this and that. And they didn't do it, which I still think part of that paved the way for now when they got Joe Burrow and realized we got another special guy in here. Right. We're doing the things that we didn't do for Palmer. So as much as we hate Palmer, there's a part of me that says maybe he paved the way for the success we're having now in a way.
Well, Corey Dillon, I remember he was in one interview and he said, look, I remember this was a couple of years ago. He said, I apologize for the way I acted, but he said, I can tell you this. I just said what more than half the team wanted to say at the time. So I understand, like, if you talk about all the older Bengal, former fans, they're all like, I don't blame what Corey Dillon said. I try to stay away from all that because the older age demographic, they're going to be stubborn as heck. They still go back from the 90s, and I try to stay away. But Corey Dillon, I understand his frustrations is what I'm saying. But like I say, you can't ignore I think Bengals Bourbon pointed out Friday, 6 1,000-yard seasons. You can't ignore that. You can say however he acted was not right, but you can't ignore 6 1,000-yard rushing seasons. I'm sorry.
Well, also, I would agree, and I think every fan would agree that lived through those years that the front office was fucked up, man. There's some bad shit going on in that front office.
Yeah.
And so to be frustrated with the front office, I don't blame him. I don't blame Palmer for being frustrated with the front office. I don't blame Corey Dillon for being frustrated with front office. I don't blame Carlos Dunlap for being frustrated. But the way that they left, you don't have to flip off the fan base because guess what? We're all in Cincinnati. We're all going to root for our team. So don't show us the middle finger on the way out the goddamn door.
Yeah, show some class.
We went to the games. We did support you.
Right.
We rooted for you.
Yeah.
On bad teams, people that did good, we still rooted for the team. So,
and like I say, the way the Browns are running it now, I just can be more happy the way they're running the team right now. They deserve a big pat on the back right now. So.
That's the other thing with the Ring of Honor is that the season ticket holders vote the people in. So it's a popularity contest. And also in that rant that Corey Dillon should have italicized, it seemed like he was mistaken, but it seemed like he was like, the way they're doing it is not right because these people don't even know about football in Cincinnati. But it's a popularity contest, man. You can't, what's the saying? You can't put the something back in the jar. What the fuck is it you can't put back in?
The genie back in the bottle?
You can't put the genie back in the bottle then. You let the genie out Corey. You can't get him back in the bottle. You done
Right.
rub the fucking jar, and he's out.
Yeah.
You rub that jar
I
harder
like
than
3
Greg
wishes,
was.
though, so I don't think it's
You're
that.
right. Well, you can get 3 wishes and get one of them, get him in the Ring of Honor.
Matt, what are your thoughts
What's he
on
gonna do with the
Corey
other
Dillon?
two?
I don't know.
Matt,
was
what's your take on Corey Dillon? Should he be in the Ring of Honor? Just
Eventually, yeah. I'm not really that butthurt by what he said.
Mhm.
I think it's more offensive to the players that are more deserving than him and should be in front of him, like Chad Johnson. I think Chad Johnson should be in this year.
I think he has a good chance that it'll be him. I think it'll be him, and I think it'll be who else have we talked about? Lamar Parrish.
That's it.
Yes.
Lamar Parrish.
I think
was about to say
Lamar.
Ken
If
Riley.
Lamar Parrish don't get in, I'm gonna be disappointed. He was my number one that I thought should have gotten in this year, based on what he'd done on the field and how he's getting older. Like,
yes.
he was my number one. I want in. Then after that, people were like, Ocho, you can make a case for Boomer because winning a league MVP is not easy. And you know, he did that. And but yeah, some of the older guys like Trumpy, probably still the greatest tight end we've had in history. He's just, you know, I don't know as much about him per se, but yeah, they're all, if they were on that list, and they haven't updated that list since it came out, that shows that they think they're all deserving and should get in. Which goes back to Greg's point, because at first I'm like, okay, don't water it down. You know, you got to move it to 2. Maybe you're going to move it to 1 eventually per year.
Right.
But when you've got this log jam, why couldn't you have done 4 for at least like 3 years?
Exactly. Speed things up. Let more. I think it almost should be 6. That's how far behind. I know that's pushing it, but it should be 4 for the next couple more years.
Hey, next year, can we put Burrow and Chase in there, though?
Well,
I mean, Geno. You look at Geno and AJ Green. You're going to be qualified. What if they top over a couple of other players that are more deserving?
At what point do they add Whitworth, Geno, AJ Green, some of these other guys that haven't been on this list? At what point do they start adding them to this list? Because that's the thing. Are you just going to keep sending out the same list year after year as it dwindles down because these are your guys, Bengals? At what point are you saying, well, we picked this, we've got it planned out, we didn't really give a fuck about your votes, just we let you go
Carson
what order you
Palmer
wanted them in?
Does Carson Palmer ever make the list?
I don't think so, because I mean they're the ones who put out that list still, right? Which should say a lot about how they feel about Corey Dillon as well. Like, that's why I don't understand.
Exactly.
For the record, I was ready to let Palmer back in with open arms after he crashed us, but then he came back again. I mean, I'm like, dude, you do it twice. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right, Greg. He'll sweet talk the city of Cincinnati one more time, and you'll let him right back in your heart and your pants.
He'll show up, man.
Yeah, fuck Carson Palmer.
Yes, fuck him.
Yeah, I don't. Hey, his brother
and Jeremy Hill.
His brother Jordan's helped out Burrow, so I seen Jesse Lepper put that earlier.
No, it's
Jordan Palmer in than Carson.
Right.
Hey, for his work with Joe Burrow alone.
I'm with him. I'm with Jesse.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we'll start. I don't think anybody else is joining in. It's after 3:50. So start with some Pro Bowl predictions, and Greg's got a 2-tier list, so we'll let him start, and then we'll go to you, Matt, second. So, Greg, you can just kind of explain your entire system here for your Pro Bowl.
There you go.
Okay, so I got first tier, second tier, and third tier. I admit I didn't. So my first tier guys, Burrow, Chase, and even though they always keep ignoring DJ Reader, those are my 3 first tier guys right there. My second tier list, guys that should be heavily considered. It's a long list one here. Orlando Brown, T. Higgins, Ted Karras, Tito, Logan, and Kappa. And my third tier is CTB and Hendrickson. I should have added a little bit more, though. But
you just fucking rapid fired like 30 fucking names with zero explanation.
So we're gonna have the entire Pro Bowl roster.
What's that?
They ain't even gonna be able to fill the team because we're gonna be in the Super Bowl. So.
Yes.
Right. Hey, Greg, how the fuck you got Orlando Brown on your second tier when the man has literally been in every Pro Bowl?
I know. He should be. You know what?
You think he's going to regress here?
He's at the top of my second tier. Barely at the end of my
got to
first tier.
give Greg fucking clearly some ground rules for every time we do this kind of
Right.
stuff, don't I?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to make ground rules on the fly here. So give me your top 3 most likely Pro Bowl candidates for the Cincinnati Bengals for this upcoming season that will be voted into the Pro Bowl, regardless if we're playing in the Super Bowl but our top 3 that get voted in.
Burrow, Chase. I want to say Reader, but it's not going to happen. Orlando Brown. Burrow, Chase, and Brown.
Okay, you want to explain?
Burrow, what's there to explain?
You
and all that.
Well, he has been, right?
Explain it to me, Greg.
Burrow, man. I mean, what's not to explain? I mean, he's proven to be a top quarterback. I mean, he just changed. He changed the whole city of Cincinnati. He changed the way how the Bengals make decisions. I mean,
nobody outside of Cincinnati gives a fuck about what he's done for the city and done for this organization.
But I mean, out of all the other players, he has the best chance out of all the other players, is what I'm saying. And Jamar Chase, I mean, he made the Pro Bowl last year. I'm a huge Jamar Chase fan, but quite frankly, with him being hurt that whole time, I really didn't think he deserved to be in the Pro Bowl, to be quite honest. But I think he'll make it regardless. And like Porkchop pointed out with Orlando Brown, he's made the Pro Bowl the last 3 or 4 years, and I still think he'll make it again. I mean, that's how offensive linemen usually make it. If you make it good certain years in a row, chances are you'll make it again. So those are my top 3 right there.
People probably don't care about what Joe Burrow's done for the city nationwide, but Joe Burrow has definitely 120% created a Bengals following across this whole country.
Yes, there you go.
Internationally. When he became our quarterback, Bengals started traveling a lot better. A lot more Bengals showed up at away games, and people bought jerseys that didn't even live here. Shit, half the city of half the state of Louisiana root for the Bengals instead of the Saints now because of Joe Burrow. So, yeah, people don't give a shit about his charity probably that don't live here in Cincinnati or in Athens or anywhere around here, but they love Joe Burrow, the player. He's probably one of the most popular sports figures in the entire world. Probably top 5.
Boom.
All right, so Matt, give us your top 3 potential Pro Bowl players for the Bengals this season.
I think everybody's pretty much going to have the same top 2. It's got to be Chase. It's got to be Chase and Burrow.
I agree. Who's your third?
Who's your third?
You don't have one. He says we don't get a third.
Who's tied for third?
It's probably between Pratt and Wilson. I think one of our linebackers will make it. It's hard for me to decide which one.
No,
because
I get it.
They've never really been great at the same time, but they've always, one of them's been really good and stand out, and then the other one just kind of plays a background role.
Well, I can tell you the comparison.
I want to say Logan Wilson.
Well, especially contract year, Logan might have his best season yet.
Yeah. I think out of those 2, it is Logan Wilson. I think Jermaine Pratt, he doesn't play on third downs, but if you just look at the stats there, Pratt's out for third down. Logan Wilson's in, but Logan Wilson got 83 solo tackles and Pratt's got 50. Logan Wilson's got 123 total tackles and Pratt's got 99.
Matt,
Logan
is that
Wilson's
beeping at your house?
What?
Like a beep keeps going off.
It's like some kind of weird noise in the background.
God damn it! I cannot fix that.
Yeah. Well, when it's your turn to talk, we'll unmute your mic. All right. All right. Sounds good. All right. Go ahead, Chop.
Logan Wilson's got 2.5 sacks. Pratt's got 1. So the stats. Logan Wilson is killing Jermaine Pratt in the stats, but you do have to figure that Pratt's out on third downs. Hopefully, maybe this year he's back in.
I was going to say, it seemed like, he wanted it, and it seemed like they started to give him a little more, and his, PFF grades and stuff wise, he's really good.
And, he signed that he probably could have got more if he would have taken his talents to another city. They might have signed him for more money than what he got here. So maybe that was part of the deal, is that he's going to play more third downs this year, or all of them. I don't know. So maybe his stats will come up, but it just seems like to me, I'm not real good at algebra, but I guess if you were to figure it out, how many snaps they took per whatever, Logan Wilson's still balling out on Jermaine Pratt. And that's not saying anything bad about Pratt, because he's awesome. Man, our linebacker core is awesome.
Oh, man.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the Pro Bowl. It's just that I don't think he's the third option.
So, Pork Chop, who is your third option, Pork Chop?
Orlando Brown Jr. I would go with Chase and Burrow and Orlando Brown Jr.
Yeah, Pork Chop, there's no copying off of me. Why are you always copying off of me?
You copied off me, motherfucker. You put Orlando Brown in your second fucking tier. I'm going to let his ass know next time we see him, too, that you had him a tier 2.
But no, admit that. No, Pork Chop, just one thing before going to Dale. Admit this. Who is more deserving, DJ Reed or Orlando Brown? Who is more deserving?
Orlando Brown.
I like Orlando, but I got to go DJ, man. I'm sorry. He's just been screwed so many times.
DJ Reader is not going to protect the asset.
I understand that, but DJ Reader is the quarterback of our
I think
defense.
you're right, man. He's a game changer, but you see what happened because of no Orlando Brown the last 2 seasons, man. No Super Bowl.
Who keeps getting in the AFC over Joe? Because I know it's Mahomes and Allen, and then who
Is
else
it Herbert?
Snoop.
Herbert keeps getting that vote.
Huntley.
We got to think
He
Herbert.
was like a super.
I know, he
Lamar
did.
gets the vote sometime.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and now Rodgers is probably going to pull votes
Right.
from the fucking New York people. So
Right.
I'm not going to put Burrow in mine. Just not saying he's not deserving. Hell,
No, I get
hopefully he gives people no choice and he comes out on fire and wins the league MVP like we were all hoping he does. But I'm going to say until he gets voted into one, he's going to continue to be on that outside for some stupid ass reason, because like it is more popularity contest, like Darth said in his comments there. So I'm going to say Burrow gets left out, even though he shouldn't. And I'm going to start with one you guys hadn't mentioned, and I'm going to say where people do get in multiple years. I'm going to say Trey Hendrickson, even though I think last year he got in from his performance from the year before, but still now he's made it in for one. He's recognized as a Pro Bowl guy already, so I could see him making it again. And I also think he takes another leap in his stats because he's going to play less, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's going to have more sacks because he's going to be more fresh. He's not going to have to play as many snaps, and the snaps he's going to get are going to be more quality. He's going to be getting late in the game. He's going to be coming up with those clutch sacks, those game-changing plays like he already does at times, but he's going to have more of those because he's going to be fresh. So I think a big season for Hendrickson, because they talk about too, he might be on the bubble for, maybe he gets cut next year and they don't keep him. Bullshit. He's too good. He's going to be here and he's going to ball out. He's going to prove why he gets paid what he gets paid. And then he's going to get paid even more. So I'm going to say him one. I'm going to say Brown for the same reason. He's 4 straight. You go to 4 straight, you're probably going to 5 straight.
Right.
Especially like the Bengals have need offensive linemen. So if we're winning early in this, it's going to be like, nationally, it's going to be like, well, Orlando Brown must be having a big impact.
Yeah.
People are just going to automatically assume that whether they're watching the Bengals or not. So there's 2 of them. And the third one probably is Jamar because he's so damn popular. I mean, you look at the gritty alone, like I know that's Justin Jefferson too, but that's like a fucking national thing that kids do constantly.
Right.
He's popular around the world, so I think being a popularity contest, those 3. Now, if I was going to say maybe, and I'll start this and we can kick it around. Let's say 3 besides the ones we've said, 3 other guys that we think are going to play to where they're deserving to get it, but they might not get it because of the popularity aspect of it. So I'll start with DJ Reader, like you guys have mentioned, because he's been overlooked how many times already now.
Right.
So that's my first one is DJ Reader. He's just, what he does is special against the run. And I think with the weapons and everybody being a little fresher, he might have a little better sack numbers this year because he can get some pressure too, even though he's a big guy. So he's number 1 on probably should get it. The second one, I think Cheeto might struggle a little getting back just because we've seen that from like Tre'Davious White and on the Bills last year at corner. Like, doesn't mean he's not going to eventually get back in the full swing and look great. And yes, he looked great in that ladder drill, but it's kind of different on the foot when you're out there in live action. So I'm going to say Cam Taylor-Britt's going to play well enough that he's going to get overlooked because he's only going to be a second-year guy that he's going to get there, but I don't think he gets the Pro Bowl nod this year. So I think he's going to get screwed over. I think Reader will get screwed over, but they should make it. And then I'm going to go with Higgins. I'm going to say because Jamar Chase and Higgins technically gets that label as wide receiver 2, that he's going to get overlooked and not get the love and the votes because Jamar will get him for the Bengals, and then people will pick Stephon Diggs, and guys from other teams to fill their spots. So those are my three that I think will get overlooked, that'll have seasons good enough that they should be Pro Bowlers.
I think you're right about Higgins for sure. It's just that the only reason he's not going to get in is not because of his stats. It's going to be because they only allow so many wide receivers in. And so because he is 2, even though he's a 1, he's going to get overlooked, just like you said.
One guy that I think they got overlooked last year, Alex Kappa. He was the best rated lineman.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Offensive line. I mean, he was ranked as a top guard. I didn't think he got enough attention last year. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all like Teddy. Teddy Kearse got a lot of attention, as he should. And Teddy Kearse was also on my list of guys that probably won't make it. But Alex Kappa, I thought he was totally ignored from last year. I mean, like I say, he was the best rated offensive player on our line. When he got hurt, we all saw what happened. When kind of like DJ Reader when he left. When he got hurt in that Ravens game, that should have never have mattered for us with that stupid coin flip. We lost our best lineman because of that. So I think Alex Kappa is a big time going to get really even be deserving that probably won't get in.
So you got any other ones?
Teddy Kearse is another one I mentioned. I don't think, although we all like him, I know he gets a lot of respect, but he's probably not going to get respect around with the voters. But if I had to pick another one, I'm trying to think of one, Dale, that you haven't talked about yet. But,
no, I mean, you could say Reader, because none of us picked him to make it.
But Cam Taylor-Britt, that's going to be one that's probably not going to get the respect, but I think he should. But I'm going to go Kappa, Kearse, and CTB.
Ken off the top rope with a good one there, because Justin Tucker is basically locked into that.
Oh, he's
not even. Yeah, McPherson could have way better season, and I think people still vote Tucker because it's been Tucker every year for the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, gotta unmute yourself.
What about Dax Hill? Full time at his natural position.
I
Sophomore.
Hope so.
I'm starting to come around on him.
No, I understand.
I had my doubts after last season, but the more I look at it, he played out of position most of the time last year. He gets to come in, play his natural position. He was lights out in college.
Yeah.
He's athletic freak. I think Lou's going to have something special cooked up for him.
I almost went this route too on Jolly's surprise with Mixon, and I thought I could see it because 2 years ago he played so great, and now it's like I could see him having this season where it's like, oh, y'all thought I was done, y'all buried me, huh?
And the offensive line this year is going to help him out.
Mm-hmm. Matt, you got more. I didn't want to cut you off, but I seen that in the comments. I wanted to pull it up because that's a good one.
That was actually one of the ones I was going to mention was Joe Mixon.
For all the same reasons. I mean, his receiving last year improved too.
Offensive line is going to be a big difference.
I think Dax Hill's on your – I hope to God he balls out and has a Pro Bowl season, but he hasn't played the position in the NFL yet, so let's see what he does.
I think the path is there, though.
To
me, it's like saying Jordan Battle. I mean, he hasn't played in the NFL yet.
I will say Dax had a year in the system with Lou, and I just think Lou's that good of a.
Did he even play the position he's in now, though? Didn't he play like nickel corner?
He was playing nickel corner. He's playing outside corner sometimes.
He was still getting reps at practice all the time with it,
And they got to feel good about him, because he's the starter. So Lou's got to feel good about him.
Yeah, I don't even care if he plays at a Pro Bowl level. If he just plays solid, that's going to be good with the other pieces. That's what safety this year. I'm like, I don't think they have to be dominant. I think they just have to be good enough this year.
I think he helps us lessen the blow of Jesse Bates leaving.
For sure.
I don't know if it's going to be a seamless transition, but I think it's not going to be as big a one that people are going to think it's going to be.
Hopefully not. I mean, Jesse Bates was also the reason for the fumble in the jungle.
Hey, I just want to make an announcement. Kevin's on here. It is Kevin Queen's birthday. I found out on Facebook. Happy birthday, Kevin.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I haven't been on Facebook, so happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Don't do anything Chop wouldn't do, so that means
right.
That means blowing hookers.
Do anything you want.
That means drink 4 Locos and run around naked, steal a cop car, let a tiger free at the zoo.
Have you played Grand Theft Auto before? Do it in real life.
Yeah. But Kevin, seriously, happy birthday, buddy. Hope it's a good one. Always thank you for the support, buddy.
Absolutely. We love Kevin. Chop, you got any other ones that you can think of?
You know, with Shooter, how many of each position do they go into the Pro Bowl?
Kicker, you just get one from each.
It ain't gonna be Shooter, especially on his year last year. I know that it got fucked up last year with your buddy, your best friend being out. You know, Clark Harris. But so that kind of messed up his year last year. But the man did miss 3 extra points last year. But you know who could be a dark horse man coming in this year on special teams to make the Pro Bowl is a man that can put the ball in the air for 5 seconds and drop it in between and drop it behind the 20 every fucking time. And a friend of our show, Brad Robin. The
mustachio masher.
The mustachio masher. I mean, if that man is kicking that ball like that for this season, he comes out and he balls out and he plays the same as he did for Michigan, then he has got one hell of a chance to make it to the Pro Bowl this year. That could be a surprise. That could be a rookie in the Pro Bowl right there. What punter?
Also going to be hard, though, because the Chiefs guy, I think Townsend, he got it last year, and I think he signed back with the Chiefs and got paid. So that also always, does make popularity contest.
And he's with the Chiefs, and they're popular.
That won the Super Bowl. Yeah,
they won the Super Bowl, and
that's going to be the toughest thing. But if it wasn't for that guy,
if he keeps that mustache, it's gonna help him.
Chop it. Yeah. Okay.
I just can't believe no one mentioned Mike Hilton. We mentioned all these secondary guys, and no one mentions Mike Hilton. It's the slot corner thing, isn't it?
He showed a sign of decline last year a little bit, I thought. I mean, I hope he comes out and punches me in the gut over this and proves me wrong. But he's shown a little bit of signs of decline last year. That's why I was a little hesitant. But like I said, Mike, I hope you're watching this. I hope you just I hope you just use me as a punching bag or something.
Mike, if you ever want to come on the show, Greg's only a part-time host, so we'll make sure he's not on that day.
Right, yeah.
Unless you want him on, just tell him that he's a fucking idiot.
But no, like I said, I hope Mike proves me wrong. And you know what? I wouldn't be that surprised if he proved me wrong, but I'm just saying. And I'm sorry.
God, he's so good. He's so good at blitzing. He's so good as the slot corner. That's the reason I don't think he'll get it, because they don't really specify slot corner. It's the same thing that keeps DJ out a lot of years.
Right.
They don't really specify that role, that big nose tackle run stuffing. It's just D tackle, so everybody looks at stats. They look at sacks. Same thing, Mike Hilton plays that slot corner. They look at the outside corners that get more of the interceptions. And
personally, I'd love to see Sam Hubbard too, man, because he's a Cincinnati boy. He went to Muller. He went to Ohio State. He's playing for the Bengals. He's gotten better every year. So, not that I think it's going to happen, but man, that would be special for our city.
He doesn't fit like the Pro Bowl type. He does so many things that are different. It doesn't fit the Pro Bowl. I'm not saying it's fair or anything, but he doesn't fit the Pro Bowl type of thing because he does so many unique things.
But the popularity part of it, he's a good-looking dude.
Right.
He had the fumble in the jungle, so that put him nationally on the radar with basically a game-winning play. So, that part of it could get him votes.
No, it could. I'm just saying the popularity contest is what comes into everything. But like you said, Dale, you could be right about that.
Yeah, but I agree with you when it comes play on the field. I don't think he does enough sack numbers and stuff like that normally get those guys in, but you just never know.
Oh, I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it would be something special for the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah. Sure. Dale, I have to ask you, since the All-Star game for Major League Baseball this week, can we just go around and say one player that got snubbed by the Reds? Because I could name you 6 or 7 players that got snubbed by the Reds.
It's Ellie. It's got to be Ellie.
Duh. But
it's Spencer Steer. It's Spencer Steer. Spencer's played the whole season where those guys didn't. He played the whole season batting close to 290, 14 home runs, leading the team, close to leading the team. I think he might be first or second on the team in RBIs. He's up there in average home runs, RBIs. Yeah. He's played all season, and he's had to play different positions all season. He's played DH, first base, third base. They've moved him around, outfield, wherever they need him. He's moving around. So he doesn't have a consistent spot that he plays defense every day. Still goes out there as a hitter and produces consistently. So to me, it's Spencer Steer. But yeah, I mean, Ellie just from pure star. Like you want an all-star, you want a game and a star in your game.
Yes.
Then Ellie, is the star.
Did McClain play long enough to deserve all-star voting? Do you think?
I mean, he played. 3 to 4 weeks longer than Ellie did, at least.
Right.
But
I think he deserves. Like I said, you can make an argument for like a bunch of these guys.
When was the vote?
Well, I mean, the vote probably started going on.
I think
before Ellie was. It probably started before Ellie was even.
It may have even started before McClain came up.
Yeah,
it started way before Abbott too. But man, come on, that guy's come out and balled out as a pitcher.
Abbott's another guy.
That one. Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, like I say, man, I mean, you talk about a bunch of, and Diaz, I mean, obviously he got in because of the saves, but nothing against Diaz personally. We've all seen Diaz in plenty of situations where he's not like Mariano Rivera. He's going to strike out the side 3 times.
I'm telling you.
I don't care as long as you can close the game.
Yeah, as long as you can close the game. Yes, I'm just saying, man, there's a lot of times I was like.
That guy is really good at making me sweat and make my asshole real tight. He loads up the bases with no outs, and I'm just like, oh no!
I mean,
playing, boys.
The Dale reports after fouls. I get a little excited sometimes on every single pitch. Every time a ball's hit, I'm like, oh!
Right? Yeah.
I get a little excited sometimes.
Yeah, and I am curious to see if they call up Christian Encarnacion Strahan here after the All-Star break, because I mean, you need another bat. You got one right here. It's batting like 330.
You can't keep him on the bench, though. Someone's got to get traded, I think.
Is there a certain point in the – see, I'm just getting into baseball, so I'm asking you guys questions. Like,
there is a trade deadline. It's usually the end of July.
So at the trade deadline, they can't bring anybody up from AAA after
that?
either?
They can.
You can.
All year?
And you actually have September call-ups. So September 1st, you have call-ups to where you can call up more – your roster expands at that time before the playoffs. You're allowed to have more players up at that time.
We talked about yesterday's game. We lost 1-0. That was the first time ever our pitching did well, our hitting didn't do well. But I mean, it's not something to get upset over. I mean, that's one game.
We're in first place at the All-Star break.
Thank you. We're still in first place. When it comes back to Great American Ballpark, when it comes back to our house, that's going to be a different story.
2010 was the last time we were in first place in our division at the All-Star break.
Yes.
Also, we're starting out right away with Milwaukee. And like Greg said, on our home field, and I believe it's a 4-game series. Is that correct?
I think it's only 3.
It's just 3. Okay, somebody had said 4 last week. Either way, 3-game series with the Brewers. That's another reason I'd like Encarnacion Strahan to come up if they plan on bringing him up. Bring him up now for that extra little boost, a little shot in the arm against the Brewers, the team that you are battling against right now.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I just don't think they want him on the bench, though. They want to keep him playing.
I don't think he'd be on the bench.
What position is
No, Dale, I agree with you. I want him up right now, but I just think they want to keep him playing. I totally agree with you, Dale, but my personal opinion, the only way he comes up is if Senzel or India gets traded. Porkchop, I think they're trying to make him play outfield. I think he can play a couple of positions, but I think they're trying to get him to play outfield.
Can he play second base?
They might try. I've heard they're trying to try him at first base when Votto retires, they said.
You can DH him as well. That's the thing now with the National League having a DH. So outfield spots, you're talking Friedel, you're talking Will Benson, you're talking guys. Those guys get days off. Like you can make it work.
Show that ass again. Stand up. Let's see. Shake that ass.
Shake
that ass, Greg.
It's Bengals and booty. Let's see it.
Do that little giggle while you do it.
I can't twerk.
Let's see the butt, Greg.
But no, like I say,
make them cheeks clap, Greg.
But in the Major League Baseball draft, a lot of people wanted that hitting catcher, and I wanted a hitting catcher too. But Pete Rose has a good old saying: if you have pitching, just get more pitching. Get all the pitching you can get right now.
No, I loved what the Reds did. One of the top 5 didn't fall. Everybody said there was a clear top 5: 3 college guys, 2 high school guys.
Yes,
they didn't fall. That's fine. You take the best, second best pitcher in the entire draft. Now, Iceman said, "Oh, did we bring him up for the bull?" And it's a debate to be had. Like I wasn't trying to shit on Iceman when I retweeted and said I disagree with him here. I like to have conversations on Twitter, not argue with people. Man,
I get what you were saying. I get what Iceman was saying. Keep him in the bullpen temporarily to see what he can do. Because remember, Mike Leake, we called up. I think he got up the year he got drafted. Normally that doesn't happen because he's played a lot of baseball in the spring. But I think this kid could come up next year. And Kieran, if you're out there, we drafted an LSU player. Just stop it and become a Reds fan. Don't become a Pirate fan.
I sent him a text. I said, we all voted. He was like, who's we? And I said, me, motherfucker.
All of me voted.
Yeah. By the way, that LSU pitcher, there's one thing in the World Series in one game, 17 strikeouts against a damn good Florida team. So,
that guy, and it's Danny Graves, who also said that Abbott was going to be really good. He's been really good.
And
Danny Graves said that he thinks he's better than Skeens, I believe so it's pronounced, the LSU pitcher. Number one overall.
Skeens, what was it? Rhett? Yeah, he said Rhett was better than Skeens, he said. Yes. And
the guy the Reds drafted.
And the thing with Rhett is they say, he doesn't throw over 100. Let me tell you something. It's a lot of players can figure out hitting over 100. If you can control your pitches, then you can control anything. Then
Iceman, that's perfect timing. We can have our debate about this.
Come on, Iceman.
For the bullpen, because I said I think it's a good debate because I can see the argument that Iceman says. But I also am like, man, I just don't want to risk moving him to that role, and he comes up here where he's a little worn down for the season. We'll have to see if Iceman can come on, but that's what I wanted to say was like, right. I don't know for the season wise, would he be too worn down from pitching, even all the way in the playoffs? For the College World Series, he was there like to what, the final 3 or 4 teams.
Yeah.
So he's been pitching all season. I know they didn't have him. Some college teams will let these guys go like 130 pitches. Like They were usually pulling him at 100 or less. So
right.
So let me ask another baseball question.
Go for it.
I'm just kidding. I don't consider myself a bandwagon fan because I didn't root for any other team, and I'm not jumping on the bandwagon. I'm jumping on baseball. You know what I'm saying? I was not a baseball fan. This team has made it exciting for me. So what I'm asking is the whole debate about whether they should be in the bullpen or starting pitcher. So when pitchers start off, do they start in the bullpen, and when they get better, then they play opening a starting pitcher?
Some do. Like Hunter Green, we knew he was going to be a starter from day one when we drafted him.
He never started in the bullpen?
Not very often because they like to get them training as a starter, staying in that consistent training as a starter.
What is the difference between a starting pitcher and I understand when the bullpen, they come out and they play 1 or 2 innings at the end of the game, and the opening pitcher, you like him to stay in the game like six innings, somewhere around there, right?
And you're not going to pitch but every 4 to 5 days.
4 or 5.
If you're a bullpen guy, you might be pitching 3 or 4 days in a row at times.
And Diaz plays like every single game. He's like 9th inning. That's the pitcher. Almost all the time. Although I did see that they also brought Karcher up again, right?
I did not see that, but
I thought that maybe it was when Mo was on the show or something. I thought that he said something about Karcher coming up.
Oh, that was his favorite.
I know it was his favorort moment. Right. I must have heard it somewhere else, but
they like that shortstop we drafted. He was actually ranked higher than the LSU guy we took, and I know people are going to be saying, "Look at all the shortstops we have." My uncle I was talking to says if you can play shorts, that's the best player on the team is either your shortstop or your center fielder. If you can play shortstop, you can play anywhere on the field, probably with the exception of catcher. This kid is only 19 years old. It's an important job. I don't know if you know this, John. When you draft a high schooler, you're not going to be up like what, Dale, for 4 or 5 years probably?
I mean, yeah, there's the rare freaks. But
Griffey came up at 19, but that's so rare to do something like that.
Yeah, so, typically you're drafting them for 4 or 5, 6 years from now before they're going to hit Major League Baseball.
So a guy in the bullpen he'll come out and play 1 inning, or does he come out sometimes to play 2?
Very rarely do they do 2. They like to keep it at 1.
So there's here comes trouble.
What's up, guys?
What up?
What's up, buddy? It's like I summoned you. I just mentioned your name when you started talking Reds, and I said I wasn't trying to argue with Jeff. I said because I see his point too.
Yeah.
I said, but I think it's a good conversation because okay, do you bring him up now to help to finish this year because you're in a race, or like my argument then is okay, you bring him up, do you risk messing his arm up or messing up his mental where he's been a starter all season and long term he's going to be a starter. So that's the question.
Yeah, Wake Forest brought him out of the bullpen as well during the College World Series, so he's done it before. So it's just a thought. If you got to see how the kid does in single A and all that stuff. And I'm not talking like right now. I'm talking maybe like end of August, September down the stretch run. Maybe you can bring, because somebody said it on or commented on our thread that with your right, the Rays did that with Price back in the day, and he came straight up and he was in the bullpen, and then they moved it back to a starter, which you can do that. And you're right, some guys can't do it. It just depends on his mental makeup if he can do it.
Right.
But he literally just got done doing that in the College World Series and was damn near won it for him, as good as he was. So, I mean, I was ecstatic we got him, because I wanted either him or one of the two guys from LSU, and I knew we weren't going to get the two guys from LSU. I didn't think we'd get him. I didn't think he dropped down to 7. When they got him, I'm like, holy crap, that's who I wanted. So, and I mean, I don't by no means claim to be a college or prospect expert whatsoever. I just happened to watch College World Series, and I knew that we were picking high, and I like 3 guys, and we got one of them. And I think he could be a bullpen guy, but who knows?
Name of Jeff's sex tape. I like 3 guys.
Yeah.
Well, no, Jeff, I think you can agree. This was the most safest pick in the draft. And I wanted to go safe pick because we're in a win now mode. I mean, let me ask you this, though, Jeff. If we were not in first place, do you think we would have gone a different route, taken somebody a lot younger as we were rebuilding? Or do you think they still would have taken that way? Sure, since we're in win now mode.
I don't know if it has to do with win now mode. I think it's more of we need more pitching. If you look at the whole draft, I mean, everybody they drafted so far has been pitchers, I think, except for shortstop they got in the third round or second round. Because they had two first-round picks. Yeah, but, so I think it's more of replenishing the minor leagues. So we got a lot of position players. We got a lot of shortstops. And I know everybody's going to freak out when we draft another shortstop. I have no problem ever drafting shortstops.
Thank you.
If they can hit, and they can play shortstop. They can play anywhere. I mean, they can. So I have no problem with that.
They can't play pitcher, Jeff.
Huh?
They can't play pitcher.
Yeah. Well, Jeff,
actually, I think Ellie De La Cruz could pitch.
He probably could. And
Hunter Green was a 2A player.
He
was a shortstop.
He was a shortstop too. So that's not necessarily true.
I bet Ellie can also pitch left and right-handed.
Yeah.
He could probably throw the goddamn ball with his foot.
He's got a 14-inch pecker too.
That guy is probably one of his. He's probably only got one leg, and that's what the other one is.
There's not a whole lot Ellie can't do. Go ahead, Greg.
Jeff, were you big? Because some fans around Twitter were upset we didn't take the catcher from Virginia, and I wanted a hitting catcher, really badly, and all that. And that kid was almost ready to come up. But like I said, Pete Rose had an old saying: if you have pitching, get more pitching. Just keep building up the pitch.
That's my thing. You can never have enough pitching, and that's the thing is, winning organizations always have pitching, and especially when you get into the playoffs. Now the way the playoffs are, the bullpen is even more important now than ever.
Yes.
Because you got to be ready. I mean, maybe the starter only makes it 2 innings, and you can't wait. The way you manage playoff baseball is completely different than the way you manage regular season. David Bell, I think, is going to be a really good manager in the playoffs because he manages everything like the seventh game of the World Series. That's kind of what you have to do in the playoffs. So pitching for me is what I always say.
Yep.
Yeah, and I didn't want to have flashbacks like Devin Mesoraco. I think he was a high school kid, but still.
He would have been good, but he got hurt. That was Devin's. As soon as they signed him, he freaking got hurt and never. Then we traded him to the Mets, and then he was out of baseball.
Well, no, Jeff. Like I say, I just want a good backup catcher because Stevenson can't play the entire time. But when nothing gets Molly, and obviously with Kirk Casale, it's like when those guys are batting, it seems like we have a pitcher batting at times. I mean, because when Stevenson's playing, and if we had another good hitting catcher, I think we'd be set.
Well, I have a question for you. I don't think Molly's that bad, but is it time to get rid of the 3 catchers? That's where I'm at.
No, wait. Okay.
No, you need 3 catchers.
Look, so I'm new at baseball, but on the radio the other day when they were calling the game, they were saying that there's 3 catchers, and then there was a point in the game, something happened. I don't remember what it is because I'm not super familiar with baseball, but they said, I think it was Tommy Thrall said, that's the reason you keep 3 catchers.
Yeah, but I still don't care. Because the reason they did it is because Tyler Stevenson was going to play first base a lot. Well, he's not playing first base, and he does better when he's a catcher. Just have him as your starting catcher, have Malia as your backup, get rid of Kirk Casale, and bring up CES. That's my point. You got to bring up CES. Everybody keeps saying there's no place for him to play. That's bullcrap. There is a place for him to play. He can play first base, and they can DH, and they can move these guys around to different spots like they do every single day. So this whole narrative that there's no place for CES to play is ridiculous.
Yeah, Greg, that's what I said. Suck it, Greg.
Pork chop. No, not pork chop. Jeff, They need him to play full time, buddy. I mean, they want him to keep playing full time.
You can
have him on the bench, even like 80%, 20% of the time.
DH first base. You can play full time.
Jeff,
that's what I'm trying to say.
No, Jeff, you have.
Greg, even in AAA, guys get days off. Even in AAA,
right, he's not gonna play.
Guys, you have to play. Keep him playing. You can't keep him on the bench. So we have to trade.
He will.
Listen, Greg. We're not putting him on the bench. He will play damn near every day, just like everybody else is doing. That's why Steer plays left field.
Right.
You either DH him or you play first base. Steer can play first, third, and left field. Ellie can play third and short. McClain can play second and short. These guys are moving around all the time. Nobody's playing every single day. You know,
I hope you're right.
Playing every single day. So I mean, that's where he's going to play plenty. This whole narrative that he's not going to play. He's not going to come up here and sit on the damn bench.
He better not.
He's not.
He's too good.
He's too good. Yeah, he's not going to do that.
Jeff, all I can tell you is we got the DH at the right time. Is all I
Yes, exactly. And yeah, for sure. I know you're saying for Ice, but TJ Antone, if you guys all seen the video, he looked good too.
Oh man, if they get him back coming out of the bullpen, I mean, three big keys. We get him back, and we get whenever. I don't know. Hunter Green and Lodolo are coming back in August. Don't know when. Hopefully, it's beginning of August. We get those three guys.
Yes.
We might not have to add anybody. I'm going to be honest. If Antone could pitch like he did before he got hurt.
Hey, Jeff.
Yo.
So I know Matty's got that Jackpot Joey beer, right? So for the Reds now, is he going to make the Ellie De La Brew?
He's going to do what?
Ellie De La Brew? Brink Brewery? Ellie De La Brew?
Brewery about that.
You should have patented that before you ever spoke that in.
I was going to say, I'm running off with this right now. I got to call business.
You know somebody's going to make that shit as soon as they hear that.
If we have a show where we start talking Reds, it's going to be Cruise and Brews.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Ellie, hi. This is my idea, Ellie De La Brew. Yeah, thank you so much. Let's get
the wrong language if you're talking to Ellie De La Cruz.
Let me. I'll call Andy from Brick Brewery now and tell him.
Yeah.
I just had this great idea.
It's all my idea
right now.
Pork Chop had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Now Chandler came up with what did he say? Jackpot 44 Cruise or something like that. He put on the show we did yesterday. You have to go back and watch it. I'm like,
Jackpot 44 Cruise.
Doesn't Joey Votto has a nickname for Ellie De La Cruz, but he doesn't want to let it out yet. I think he went wants his permission or something. Does Joey Votto keep saying he has a nickname?
I think he has cuss words involved in it.
Oh, okay.
Probably OG Mudbone.
You're right.
Yeah, but so Dale, my question to you is, what's your take on Joey Votto taking Will Benson giving Joey Votto all the credit for him doing well? We all know deep down inside who the real person is the reason why Benson was hitting well.
You know, it's Canadian of Joey. This is what they do. They come to our country. They take our credit for things.
Yeah.
So
it was damn because he was talking shit about him.
Yeah. He was batting 140, and I said, "Man, this guy is pure fucking ass."
He was.
He hasn't had a bad game since.
And the thing is, I love when his emotions when he gets a big hit. He's like, "Yeah," but then whenever you see him do an interview, he's so nice and calm and cool. But did you guys see the interview?
That's the Canadian thing in him. Oh, I'm sorry.
When all the players were Jeff, when all the players were interviewing, yes, that was awesome.
That was awesome. When
that was interviewing.
That's like this clubhouse reminds you of the Bengals, man. Seriously.
Yes. They're all having fun. Yes.
No, Crip. We were already talking Reds, man. That's the thing right now. There's this downtime. There's no we can get Iceman's opinion where we started, I guess, with Corey Dillon. Did you watch the interview with Bengal Jim? Did that change your opinion any different from reading the comments that he had made the other day? Or do you just not give a shit and he should be in the Ring of Honor?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No, the other Iceman.
So, I didn't hear him say Iceman. All right, so I'll put it to you this way. I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame despite what he did off the field. I think Corey Dillon should be in the Bengals Ring of Honor because of what he did on the field. That's what the Ring of Honor is about. It's not the Ring of Honor of tremendously great people. It's of tremendously great players. And
did you vote for him this cycle? Should he be in yet?
I didn't vote for him this year. I voted for Reggie Williams and I voted for Oh my God,
Parrish.
Lamar Parrish.
Lamar Parrish. Thank you.
We had the same thing. We were like, "Who's the guy?" And it's like that was the major one that I wanted was Parrish.
Yeah, well, the major one I want is Lamar because we've waited so long to do this. I want the guys from the 70s and the early 80s. I want them in before they're gone. I don't want what happened. We get Ken Riley in and he doesn't get to enjoy it. I want these guys in before that.
Corey Dillon is right to a certain extent. It's a popularity contest with the season ticket holders, and the season ticket holders ain't getting any young, or they're not getting any older. They're getting younger.
Right.
I'm getting older.
Well, we're getting older, but you know what? We drop off.
The average.
Eventually, we get too old and don't go to the games.
One NFL expert said, should it just be the season ticket holders that should vote, or should it be all the Cincinnati fans? What do you guys think?
No, just like I don't think that fucking renters should have to vote on local bills. They don't pay the fucking taxes. I do.
I think guys like Corey Dillon or anybody else, the older guys, would be even more pissed because if you're opening up to everybody, you're going to have people that have only seen the Bengals for the last 3 years voting.
That's exactly right.
Well,
I've only heard of Ocho Cinco.
I mean, the thing is, guys, I honestly think they should have it at 4. They should give us 4 and not 2.
We said
so many people.
If we could have done that for maybe 3 or 4 years with 4, because
there's so many people. I mean, that way you can get, because I mean, let's be honest. I'm surprised Ocho isn't in yet. I mean, he's going to get in before.
Matt, are you so glad you asked to be on the show?
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah.
Is it possible to get a word in on this show?
Who, me? Oh, sorry. Am I talking too much?
You're muted. Oh. No, it's been all of us. You're still muted.
I am?
No.
Oh.
I can't even unmute him. I hit unmute and it doesn't work.
Yeah, he's got himself muted.
Matt, you have yourself muted. Matt's been muted the whole time I've been on here.
We can't unmute you. You muted yourself, Matt.
You sign like
ASL?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now.
Matt's just here for his pretty face.
Yeah.
That's it.
You just nod. Like,
Poor child.
All right, yes.
Any South Carolina women looking for a man?
Hey,
there you go. Oh, there it is.
Am I unmuted now?
Yeah,
there you go.
Now you get to hear the beeping.
That's why we were having him muted.
There is beeping
when he wasn't talking.
I don't fucking hear it. I'm in the house all the time, and I don't hear it until I get on a show. And then people go, "What the fuck's that beeping?" I go, God damn it! It's a fucking security alarm. The dogs broke the damn security alarm.
Oh,
just rip it off the wall.
What the fuck were we asking Matt anyway?
If I'm gay?
No, I'm the Ring of Honor.
I don't know. Let Greg shake his ass again. Let's test it.
Yeah,
hey, look what just came in the mail. Jeff, look what just came in the mail today.
I don't want to see it on your ass. Oh, I like it. I like
Greg's
it.
ass.
Oh, now he likes
Nope.
it.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm not gay.
Well, I already saw
confirmed it.
Well, I didn't see
You
his
were,
ass,
you were
so
rubbing your
that
pussy
made
earlier.
you feel better.
Yeah. But anyways, so we're a little over an hour in. Iceman's probably, or not Iceman, but Iceman's got a show. Chop's got to grab those balls for work, I'm sure.
Well, I don't have to go to work, but a friend of mine's dad passed away, so I'm going to go to the visitation, show some support.
So you still got to scrub your balls.
I do. I'm going to scrub my balls for the visitation.
Thank God.
Scrub both of them.
You never know. Like,
He only has one.
don't people crash like funerals? to
I'll
get
scrub
laid
both
too?
sides.
I'm going to scrub them one at a
Crashers,
time.
Yeah.
I sing happy birthday with each testicle. That way I make sure I get them nice and clean.
Hey,
I
Jeff.
scrub it. Happy birthday to
The
you.
more you know.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you finally get the tickets Friday? Finally?
You're gonna kill me. I haven't got them yet.
God, what is that? I mean, seriously.
I'm busy, man. I got to drive down there and get them. I will try to do it tomorrow.
Try, yeah.
You'd literally pass the fucking place every day on your
but
way
they're
back
not-
and forth to work.
But they're not open when I pass them.
Well, just camp out there.
You know what, though? A friend at work, one of the residents at work told me last night, she said, you can call the Reds ticket off. You can call them on the phone, buy the tickets on the phone, and they'll email you the ticket.
Yeah, but it's a service charge.
There's no service charge.
There is no service charge.
If you call them on the phone, there is no
really?
service
There's no
charge.
service charge.
You have to actually call them on the phone.
Whoa.
You all right there, Greg?
All right, I don't know, man. You're like, oh.
Yes, Greg, ever been all right?
Okay.
Greg, you
motherfucker-
one
Greg's
that makes
never
more
alive.
noises. You make more noises than anybody I've ever. known.
You make more noises than Matt's fucking being Matt.
I'm like Larry. I'm like Larry Winslow, who can make all the voice noises.
You make more noises than that alarm system.
Michael Winslow, yeah.
Yes, right.
And your squeaky chair.
I got a WD through this chair.
I thought you'd get a new one.
Yeah, I thought you did. You brought
It was a temporarily. It's a
Go
wooden.
get a new chair.
It's a wooden chair out of my table. It's a temporary chair. It's like a prison chair to sit in.
So you brought back the squeaky one?
Well, it's more comfy that way.
This motherfucker. All right, guys. Well, it's been